Alright, y'all. I am just now walking out of the cinema after watching Backrooms and Toy Story 5. I know, odd choice for a double feature, but I did find out that I'm working tomorrow in my real life job, so had to get these two off my list. Okay, so to start off, Backrooms. So, I'm gonna say this, I have no knowledge on Backrooms lore. I mean, I've seen like one Backrooms video, and it's actually a gameplay video on Escape the Backrooms. In fact, it was actually a modded video. I mean, it was from Toasted Shoes, so of course it was modded. But he actually hired some voice actors to play with him as some cartoon characters, like speaking in their voices to give off the illusion that he really is playing with Dr. Zoidberg, Arthur Morgan, Morty, and Shrek. So yeah, that's really the only Backrooms thing I've seen. So yeah, as you can imagine, I didn't really have any knowledge on it going into the movie, and so I was still interested in checking it out because my friends talked about it a lot, just like with Obsession. They talked about Backrooms a lot, so I assumed it was gonna be on the same level as that. I mean, I think I've heard that this was directed by a YouTuber. I don't know. I feel like I've heard something about that, which would make sense. But anyways, so what did I think of the movie? It's interesting. It is an enjoyable movie, I will say that. I mean, it's not really as scary as I was anticipating, but it is scary. It's definitely got scary moments. Like, it's got really good jump scares. That's for sure. Like, every one of them has gotten me jumping out of my seat, and I will also say this, the acting is really good. Everybody does a wonderful job playing their character in this movie. And I especially think they did a great job with the set design. Like, from what I remember in that Backrooms video I mentioned that I saw on YouTube, it really looked like the Backrooms. So, yeah. Yeah, that was definitely really good. And I especially the reason I say it's interesting is because there's a lot of bizarre imagery. Which, don't get me wrong, it works. It's like, what the fuck am I looking at? I mean, that was probably the point of the bizarre imagery, just to have you go, what the fuck am I looking at? So, yeah, I don't really take a lot of issue in that. I mean, there are two issues I have. One, the first third has a pretty slow pace. Like, I don't know, there were moments where I was just like, could you just cut to the chase already? I don't know. I guess I have a much higher attention span than that needs to be attended to. I mean, I couldn't tell you why Obsession worked better for me. I mean, yeah, like I said, Obsession scared the shit out of me. I don't know, Backrooms, it was scary. But there was that first third where the pacing was a bit slow. And the other issue I had, this monster that chases after the therapist is a little derpy looking. I don't know. I just thought the eyes on it just were a little goofy looking. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. I wouldn't know. So, Yeah, I really don't know what else to say about Backrooms. It was scary, but at the same time, a little bit bizarre. So, yeah, let's move on to Toy Story 5. Um, so, yeah, since this is a sequel, I should give my thoughts on the previous one. So, the first Toy Story, I do love it, but I'm not going to say it's a perfect movie. I don't know. The only issue I've ever had with the first Toy Story is that it's a little the story's a little cliched. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. It is amazing that this is marked as the very first animated film to be fully animated with computers. But this story is all a little bit of something I've seen before. Like newcomer comes in, main character does not like them. So like in this case, Buzz is new. Woody's always been Andy's favorite toy, so he doesn't like Buzz. And yes, eventually he's gonna warm up to him, and yes, Buzz will find out that he really is a toy. Yeah. That was really my only issue with the first Toy Story, is that it's a bit predictable, but it's still funny. Don't get me wrong. Like, just because a movie's unoriginal does not make it a bad movie. It can still be a good movie. And Toy Story's no exception. Yeah, it's funny. Even with its cliched story, it's still creative, and it is, and like, yeah, it has a very interesting concept. Toys come to life whenever the kids aren't around. That is in fact creative, and I do admire that. I make it sound like I don't like the movie at all, which I do. I love it. Even with its predictability, it's still manages to be, yeah, a classic. Like, yeah, everybody loves it, and it's fair to see why. But, yeah, okay, I think I'm done talking about the first Toy Story. Okay, let's move on to Toy Story 2. I've always loved this one better than the first one. In fact, I think I remember seeing this one before I saw the first. Yeah, the odd thing is, I had the second one on VHS, but not the first one. I don't know how that's possible. Yeah, I guess it's because it was the one I grew up with more, but yeah, I've always loved it better than the first one. I don't know. I wouldn't say it. Yeah, it definitely wasn't as predictable. In fact, I actually put Toy Story 2 up there as like one of my top 10 favorites from Pixar. Yeah. When they introduced Jessie, she's a really funny character. Especially Bullseye. And yeah, Stinky Pete was a diabolical villain. Like, my god. He did not want Woody to leave. And, oh my god. Every time I watch Toy Story 2, I can never look at Jessie's flashbacks with Emily without crying. Like, oh my god, that scene always gets to me. Every time I watch it, dude. In fact, more on that later when we actually talk about Toy Story 5. Okay, now, I don't know what else to say about Toy Story 2. So I'll move on to Toy Story 3, which, by the way, is my favorite of the franchise. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I've always loved it more than Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2. Yeah. That movie genuinely makes me cry. Like, seeing Andy give all his toys to Bonnie. It's like, Andy's growing up, so... And it really is sad because with the previous two films, we've always felt a connection with the toys and Andy. Especially Woody with Andy, because, yeah, we all know Woody has always been Andy's favorite toy, so... Yeah. And so, yeah, the fact that we see Andy grown up here, going to college, it's like, wow. Pixar can do some mature shit. Like, and, you know, my next point about Toy Story 3 actually does remind me of something about Toy Story 2. I love its nods to Star Wars. Like, especially in the beginning, where Buzz breathes like Darth Vader. And they even use some of the sound effects of, like, the laser guns from Star Wars in the beginning of the first Toy Story. I love that. And, oh my god. The moment where Zurg tells Buzz, "I am your father," that never fails to crack me up, dude. I'm wheezing about it right now. Oh my god. Yeah. Toy Story 2, in my honest opinion, as funny as the first one was, Toy Story 2, in my honest opinion, was funnier. And yeah, you could argue that those two were a little more funnier than Toy Story 3, but I don't know, it's the emotional impact that gets to me. Yeah, I don't know why, it's just, when a movie makes me cry, I'm immediately in love with it. And so, yeah, obviously Toy Story 3 is no exception. But yeah, as I was saying, because yeah, when I brought up that I love Toy Story 2's nods to Star Wars, I actually love Toy Story 3's nods to these prison movies that you've seen, like Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile. Like, those are hilarious. And, man, Michael Keaton as Ken. Like, yeah, we got introduced to Barbie in the second Toy Story, and now we have Ken. Together at last. And man, being a stereotypical boy, it is so funny. And you know, the funny thing is, I'm actually hearing Ken's voice in my head. It does not sound like Michael Keaton. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen Toy Story 3, but I don't know. I'm just hearing Ken's voice in my head, and it doesn't sound like Michael Keaton, but it is Michael Keaton playing as him. So, yeah, that's... I don't know if he did something with his voice. I mean, he definitely did when he played Beetlejuice and Batman. So maybe he did with Ken. I don't know why he would, but whatever. I don't know if he... Again, I don't know if he did for sure. I can't really confirm it, so yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I don't want to talk too much about the previous Toy Story films, because we've had 4 of them before this one. So, it's kind of a lot of movies to talk about, so... Yeah, with that said, let's just get started on Toy Story 4, which I definitely don't remember that well. I remember enjoying it, but I will say I also remember it being the weakest of the franchise. Yeah, from what I remember, the humor is pretty hit or miss, and even though the ending where Woody decides to stay with Bo, like Bo Peep and the Forbidden Toys, even if it did get me teary-eyed, I will say it is a little insulting to Woody's character, because it's like, he would never do that. He would never abandon a kid that he was owned by. Yeah, he would never abandon Andy, and I don't think he would abandon Bonnie. I mean, yeah, to be fair, Bonnie really wasn't playing with Woody anymore, so would she really notice? So, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I do hear I have recently discovered that a lot of people are starting to throw some shade at Toy Story 4, because, it should have ended with Toy Story 3, which I do agree. I will say that. But, for what they did with Toy Story 4, I don't know. I personally enjoyed it. It's definitely not better than the first film. I'll say that. Yeah, no. But I don't know. It got to me. I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, anyway. That's all the Toy Story film. That's all the previous Toy Story films. Now let's talk about Toy Story 5. And my god, was this a surprise. So, yeah. I've seen all the well, not all the trailers. I didn't know how Woody comes back. But, when I heard about what its premise was, it sounded interesting to me. Yeah. Playing with toys is now being taken over by playing with technology. I really like that, and I think it's interesting that that's where they're going with this 5th installment. And, yeah. But, yeah, with the trailers, the jokes were not really landing for me. Yeah, you might hear Brian Hull say this often, but, yeah, Pixar does not make great trailers. Yeah, most of the time their trailers do not hit for me, but when I see the movies, they're better than I expected. And I could even say that for Toy Story 5. So, yeah, the humor's still hit or miss, but it's definitely better than how hit or miss the humor was in Toy Story 4. I will say that. And yeah, that's really the only issue I have. Just not all the jokes land. Yeah. To be honest, I can't pick whether if I like this one more than the first Toy Story, or if I still prefer the first Toy Story. It's yeah, they're in the same ballpark. The first Toy Story is definitely funnier, but Toy Story 5 did make me cry. Especially with all the throwbacks to Jessie with Emily. Yeah. Yeah, I was honestly shocked to see that come back into this film, because it's wow. And yeah, this movie, somehow it has nods to one of its own predecessors, Toy Story 2. And it does have a nod to the first one as well. They reference the "we're flying with style" bit. And, with Toy Story 2, of course, the flashbacks where Jessie used to be Emily's toy. And I swear to God there was... Oh, yes, it was the Zurg telling Buzz, "I am your father" thing. Yeah, Zurg's not in the movie, but, with all these extra Buzz Lightyears, I was wondering what this was building up to, because, this was where most of the humor was hit or miss. I was just why are we following all these Buzz Lightyears? I don't get this. Yeah, turns out they do eventually help our leads. Which, yeah, weirdly enough, is Jesse. So, I mean, yeah, it is weird not having Woody as the lead. So, yeah, Pixar does... This is definitely not something Pixar experiments with. Like, I think they've only done this twice, having to change the main character for one of its sequels, like Cars 2, which was god-awful. I hated it, even if it was well animated, considering it is a Pixar production. Yeah. It's like, how do you go from a race car, like Lightning McQueen, learning that there's more to life than racing, to a rusty-ass pickup truck like Mater, being mistaken for American Spy? He looks like an American Spy, doesn't he? So yeah, as you could tell, I did not care for Cars 2. Though Finding Dory, on the other hand, another movie where the main character is switched, they actually have a good reason for making Dory the main character. You know, she just remembered her parents, and now she wants to find them. That's something I could totally see Dory experiencing. And even if the humor's not that great, I mean, it's definitely got plenty of funny moments. It still manages to keep me engaged in Dory's adventure in finding her parents. Like, I really want her to find them. Because, you know, we all know Dory has short-term memory loss, so yeah, she forgets things a lot. And the fact that after all these years, she remembers her parents, it is pretty depressing. And I think it was executed very well. As for Jesse being the main character in this movie, I really do like what they did with it. It does feel right to have Jesse as the main character, because, you know, Woody's not there, but, you know, she was almost like you could say that Jesse was kind of a runner-up of a comparison to Woody. It's just that, you know, different genders. I don't like talking about that. It just makes me feel so horrible. But yeah, regardless, they were very similar characters, and so with Jesse being the lead character, it felt right. Like, yeah, it would make sense that she would stand up against this lily pad. It would make sense that she would want to take care of the toys. So yeah, I don't know, it just felt right to me. So yeah, the thing with Jesse calling Woody on the walkie-talkie, that was an interesting choice. I do kind of like that. And yeah, I really do like its message, like, you know, you should, like, you know, you're never too old for certain things. I mean, playing with toys, maybe, but I mean, Bunny was 8 in this. You're really gonna pick on an 8-year-old for playing with toys? Like, fuck you. Like, 8-year-olds can play with toys too. Like, they're still kids. Shouldn't be a big deal. Like, yeah. I get it, like, trying to appeal to the newer generation, you know, have the lily pad, communicating with friends from the lily pad and shit. Because, yeah, there are people, no matter what school they go to, they're definitely gonna do shit like this. Like, they're gonna want to get rid of certain aspects about themselves to make them seem cooler to all the popular kids. I know that's what I did when I was in middle school. And fucking hell do I regret it. I mean, yeah, I definitely got popular when I started doing my impressions in high school, you know. But, you know, eventually, there just came a point where I was like, you know what? Fuck being cool. I want to be a nerd. So, yeah. Since then, I've always been proud of being a nerd, and I do not care what people think of me. And I feel like I might have said this before, but I don't know for sure. God forbid a guy can't be repetitive. But, yeah, for the most part, I really enjoyed this film. Even if not all of its humor works entirely, I still thought it was a fun film with a great message, and it was even well animated. I mean, yeah, it's Pixar. Of course it's well animated. So, yeah. I think I'm done talking for this review, because, yeah, I've almost been recording for half an hour. Like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, this is going to do it for my review on Backrooms and Toy Story 5 for my ratings. Backrooms gets an 8 out of 10. It was an interesting film, but still scary. So, you know, it still did its job as a horror movie. And as for Toy Story 5, 9 out of 10. It's pretty much right there with the first one for me. I don't know whether if I'd put it higher, or I don't know whether if I'd put it in front or behind it, but yeah, it's just right there. I don't know what else to tell you. So, yeah, with that said, thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know what y'all thought of Backrooms and Toy Story 5 if y'all saw either of those movies, and I'll see you real soon.